Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I have two good friends of mine in the room. We have been listening to the latest and greatest power amplifier that I recently purchased. So they came over to lend a hand, help me unpack it. Oz from Let There Be Sound. Check out his YouTube channel when you have a moment. And he's, of course, in charge of my turntable. So he did all the magic that he typically does. And Luis has, of course, owned a ton of equipment, probably more equipment that I have owned. He's got a lot of equipment that he's rotated throughout the years. Sometimes he goes on these crazy moments where he buys a lot, but then he won't play anything. He'll just keep it in boxes, and then whenever he remembers, he'll play I forgot I bought this, I forgot I bought that, and he will just pull it out of the box, play it, and then forget about it. So he was introduced to me by Carlos. So both of them were actually. So Carlos right now is home. You've seen him many times on my channel, but he's home. It's right now 1 o'clock in the morning, close to 1 o'clock in the morning. So the point here is I'm trying to make a video. We have been listening to this new power amplifier, reference power amplifier, for the last 3 hours, more or less. Brand new, 3 hours old, literally. Okay. And so I wanted to get their opinion on what they have heard here over the last 3 hours. Okay. I'm putting them on blast. They're going to tell you flat out, okay, as best as possible, what they heard.
Just start, Luis.
Go ahead, Luis.
Okay. As Jay says, I have fun with my systems, mostly, swapping gear in and out, listening to changes, what happens to the sound when you change from one component to the other. So I'm pretty familiar in how, system synergy and changing one component, can change the sound of your system. But Jay has a pretty high level, like end game system. And can I mention the starting amplifier?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, it's a Boulder amplifier. It's end game for a lot of people. I started listening, and it's one of the best systems I've heard. And then we insert the new amplifier in, and it's a new component.
0 miles. 0 miles.
0 miles. Hasn't been even burnt in, and the change in sound was amazing. Really.
What did you hear? What do you think it did?
It's a more harmonically dense sound.
Okay.
A more natural sound. The improvement in the bass of the speakers was amazing.
Okay.
It gave a foundation to the music that wasn't really there when I started to listen to the system. It was an incredible transformation, especially considering that it's a brand new component.
Brand new,
right?
And it's only going to get better, yes.
And then this guy over here,
Guilty as charged.
started playing some vinyl.
Yeah.
Which, I have heard vinyl systems. I understand, the analog sound. I understand, the difference. To me, I love the convenience of digital. The fact that you can assemble your playlist and jump from one song to another, and just the catalog you have available, from streaming. But listening to this, it really was an eye opener.
Kronos turntable.
Yes,
Yeah.
it really took the system to another level, and yeah.
What do you think? In your opinion, when we played all these songs for the last 3 hours, I remember looking over my shoulder and just watching you with your jaw open as you heard different tracks, different music, different songs. What stood out to you the most about the system?
This has been. I never had like a really high end system because I play around with gear a lot.
Yes.
But a lot of the music we've played is songs that I've heard thousands of times. And right now it's like listening to them, you know, I don't know, not for the first time, but in a way that I hadn't experienced them before. The impact,
Case in point, the first track we heard, the first vinyl we heard after I set up the table was the Led Zeppelin
yeah.
2, MoFi, the original master recording. And that was like, I'm telling you, man, I own that album, and I've never, ever heard that album sound quite like that. It was unbelievable. Even for a guy like me who's a seasoned analog aficionado, trust me, that album I know inside and out. And and so clearly the speakers that were professionally set up for you,
Yes.
as well as the new amplification, which is barely 3 hours old at this point.
3 hours old. Yeah.
And by the way, when we set up the turntable, the phono stage has been off for at least 2 weeks.
Yep.
We're not even using super high-end power cords
Nope.
on the turntable nor the phono stage.
Right.
So honestly, you're gonna leave those on 24/7, and the system is just gonna get better and better and better. And to me personally, sorry to take over.
No,
I
that's okay.
think, and look, I'm an analog guy. To me, once we went analog, it was a game changer for me. And of course, truth is, the amp was 30 minutes in, an hour in, so analog was in, and then the system got better and better. But the analog is insane in this room. Unbelievable, Jay.
It is.
Honestly, congratulations. I think it's really the best analog playback I've ever heard.
Wow.
Period. I mean, and I
Wow.
have some personal systems that are
You do.
incredible, but this is out of this world. That cartridge, that table combination, that phono stage. I can't wait for you to leave it on and
Oh, yeah.
come back in a few weeks and we have another session. It should be even better. That's the scary part. Put some good chords on that and
Power
better.
chords. I have a
Yeah.
lot of those, so we'll
I'm sure
insert
you
some
will.
power chords.
We're just warming the system up.
It's we played a song. We played an album from what was it?
Which one are you talking about? One of my own?
Yeah, no.
We did, by the way, we did the MoFi Carlos Santana's Abraxas One Step. Unreal. Actually, you were probably outside of the room most of the time, but him and I heard it.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
We played the MoFi Led Zeppelin 2. We heard what else from my stash? Oh, the Rycooter Jazz MoFi. Unreal. Unreal how that sounded. What else?
We played this year that
Man.
Greg Weaver sent me.
Greg Weaver.
This
You nailed it, brother.
Greg Weaver did, right?
Ooh.
He nailed it. This,
Wow,
Greg, I got to thank you for this. Finally, I got around to playing it. I heard this album at Munich with
Yeah.
Von Stryker Room with VAC amplification and preamplification, and Greg Weaver was kind enough to send me this.
Yeah.
We played it, and they were, and myself included, we were just like,
I was in shock. I have a really good Japanese version of the whole soundtrack. But this is different. This is a British 12-inch single. So you have the song through the whole side. And I think that adds a lot more to
It's
the...
a 45.
It's a 45 RPM as
yeah.
well, right?
Yeah.
So,
amazing.
unbelievable.
I want you guys to know that the reason why I did this was to get first impressions from a 3-hour-old power amplifier, an amplifier that has been sitting in my dealer's garage for the last 10 days, 12 days maybe. And I couldn't bring it home because I was working on the room. As you know, I was working on getting the room finally treated, which, by the way, you guys saw my room in the previous state,
Yeah.
which was
We've heard
nothing like this. So the
No.
room is also shining
Yeah.
with what you're hearing.
Just talking inside the room, you can
You can
sense
tell.
it's different.
Yeah, you can tell it's different. The
It's a
acoustic.
much different feeling,
Yeah.
and I think that everything is just coming together.
Yes.
That's the best thing about it. But to you guys' earlier point, it's a system, so it's not just the amplifier; it's everything that has gone in here
Yeah.
to get the music to sound the way it does. And by the way, we were cranking over 100 decibel peaks at times. Okay, and the system was not bright, was never in your face. It was effortless.
No
Yes.
fatigue at all.
Effortless, zero fatigue, right?
Yeah.
Peaks of over 100. I believe we hit 113 at one point, which I know is quite dangerous for our hearing. I get it. I know some of you all are going to start giving your opinion about how dangerous that is, and it is. but we felt like it wasn't feeling even loud because it was so effortless, so clean, no compression of any kind. And I think that's why we just kept going. Very few times do you ever get submersed this way with music. Oftentimes we're chasing what we just experienced,
Right.
and we have a hard time getting that at home. And so I always say to everyone, when you're feeling it, when you're sitting in that chair and your system is sounding good, cancel any plans you may have. Sit through it, enjoy it, because you know this hobby is crazy. One day the system sounds good, and for no reason the next day not so good. I try to do that myself. Sometimes I sit down and my system is just singing and talking to me. I'll cancel whatever I got going on just to sit there with the system for the next 2-3 hours and enjoy those 2-3 hours. Okay, because it's not just the system, it's also our mood that has a lot to do with it, how we feel. You know, so there you have it. You heard it from two people who sat here for 3 hours listening to this new reference power amplifier, which I will unveil soon. So for now, all I can ask is to please subscribe, hit that like button, continue to support me. And let me tell you, I am just as impressed as these two gentlemen are about this power amplifier. Is it the best power amplifier that I have ever owned? Amplifier number 384 power amplifiers that I've had in my life.
I haven't had that much.
Wow.
You haven't had that many. Is it the best? I guess you will have to sit down and wait and see. But I will definitely let you know when the time comes. Please, thank you, support me. Until next time, take care.
Take care. Good night.